In the heart of Benin, in a small, dusty village called Ogboko, lived a young boy named Osaro. He was the third of 5 children, born into a family that barely had enough to survive. His father, Pa Omoreji, was a struggling farmer whose crops often failed due to poor soil and unpredictable weather. His mother, Mama Ifi, roasted and sold corn by the roadside, hoping to earn just enough to feed her children. Osaro grew up hearing the same thing over and over. That boy has no gift. Unlike other children who showed natural talent, some could carve wood, some excelled in football, and others were brilliant in school, Osaro had nothing special about him. He was not the smartest, the fastest, or the strongest. People in the village often said, "If a man has no gift, how will he survive?" Osaro heard these words and felt their weight, but he refused to be discouraged. He knew that talent or not, he had to find a way to survive and lift his family out of poverty. The first struggle. At the age of 12, Osaro decided he could not keep waiting for luck to find him. He started working at the local market, carrying heavy baskets for traders. The work was exhausting, especially for a boy of his age, but he never complained. Some days he earned just a few coins, barely enough to buy a small meal. One evening after a long day at the market, he sat under a tree counting the little money he had earned. An old man, Baba Igo, who sold second-hand shoes, watched him from his stall. "Young man," Baba Igo called, "why do you work so hard?" Osaro looked up and wiped the sweat from his forehead. "Because if I don't, my family will starve," he said. The old man nodded. "I see something in you. Not talent, no, but determination. Would you like to learn something useful?" Osaro's eyes brightened. "Yes, sir." Baba Igo taught him how to clean, repair, and sell old shoes. At first it seemed like nothing special, just another task. But Osaro quickly realized he was learning something valuable. Instead of waiting for people to pay him to carry their goods, he could now make his own money. A small step forward, Osaro saved every kobo he earned, no matter how little. While other boys spent their money on small treats, he focused on his goal. After 2 years of working with Baba Igo, he had saved enough to buy a few damaged shoes and repair them himself. At 14, he started his small shoe business. He would wake up early, walk miles to villages where people threw away old shoes, collect them, and bring them back to repair and sell. His hands were often sore, his feet blistered from walking, but he kept going. The people in Ogboko started to notice. "That Osaro boy is different," they said. "He does not waste time. He works hard." Despite his progress, he still faced challenges. Some days he would not sell a single pair of shoes. Other days he struggled to find damaged shoes to repair, but he refused to give up. One day a wealthy businessman, Chief Obaseki, visited the market. He noticed Osaro cleaning and polishing shoes with great care. "Young man," he said, "why do you work so hard when you could be in school?" Osaro lowered his head. "I wish I could go to school, sir, but my family cannot afford it." Chief Obaseki was impressed. "What if you had a little more money to grow your business? Would you work even harder?" Osaro's heart raced. "Yes, sir, I would." The chief gave him a small loan, enough to buy a cart and more shoes. "Pay me back when you can," he said. Osaro could hardly believe it. He thanked the chief and promised himself he would not waste the opportunity. The road to growth. With his cart, Osaro was no longer limited to the local market. He traveled to different villages, collecting old shoes, repairing them, and selling them at busier markets in Benin City. At first, things were tough. There were days he walked under the scorching sun for hours, only to sell 1 or 2 pairs. But over time, people began to trust him. His shoes were affordable and well repaired. By the time he was 18, he had saved enough money to travel to Cotonou, where he could buy better quality shoes to sell in Benin City. It was his biggest risk yet, leaving home to do business in another country, but he knew he had to take chances if he wanted to grow. His first trip was difficult. He was almost cheated by traders who saw him as a naive village boy, but he learned quickly. He returned with a small stock of shoes, sold them for a profit, and went back for more. Success without evil. Osaro refused to take shortcuts. He never stole, never cheated, and never engaged in any illegal dealings. There were times when friends tempted him. "Osaro, There's a faster way to make money, they would say, hinting at scams and dishonest schemes. But Osaru always shook his head. If I cannot make it honestly, then I do not want it. Slowly but surely, his business grew. At 20, he opened his first small shop in Benin City. By 25, he had multiple stores across the city and was employing young boys like himself, boys who had no talent but were willing to work hard. One evening, as he sat outside his biggest shop, watching his employees lock up for the night, he smiled. He had proven everyone wrong. He had no special talent, no education, no shortcuts. But he had something even stronger: persistence, honesty, and the determination to succeed. And that, he realized, was more powerful than any talent.